Hi kids, it's Miss Amiot again. Remember how I ordered all those books from Scholastic right before school got out for quarantine, and we did not get a chance to read all the books that I ordered for you. And so I'm going to continue reading some of these science books that I ordered. And these are, you can see these are beginning readers, so they are easy to read. You definitely could have read this on your own. But since we're not together as a class, I'm going to read these for you. So this first one is about volcanoes, and the reason why I wanted to read this one to you is because, as you know, I lived in Costa Rica, and we had volcanoes in Costa Rica. There are actually 8 active volcanoes in Costa Rica, and many dormant and dead volcanoes or extinct volcanoes as well. I actually lived at the base of one volcano, and I could see another volcano in the distance, and have vacationed on a volcano that looks just like this with the lava and everything. And that actually was pretty scary. I did not really feel safe there, but it was a really cool experience anyways. And they had lots of hot springs and a lot of biodiversity in the nature. It was a really beautiful place to live, but it was full of volcanoes. And because there were volcanoes, we also had earthquakes, lots of earthquakes. So I'll read that book to you next. But this one is Volcanoes. And there's our table of contents. And before I start reading, I'm just going to browse here. I'm just going to look at the picture and see, what kind of a text might this be? We have been learning about all different kinds of stories and literature, and this one is a informative text. So this is non-fiction, which is not made up, and it is informative. So it's meant to teach you something, and you can see we have photographs, real pictures, and the pictures have captions which give you more information about the picture. We also have some vocabulary words that are in bold here. And then this type of box right here gives you information about the vocabulary words. So this is definitely a science text, and it's meant to inform you or educate you about volcanoes. So, chapter 1, let's explore volcanoes. Hiss, rumble, kaboom! What just happened? A volcano blew its top. A volcano is a crack or opening in the Earth's surface. Materials from beneath the surface travels through a volcano like a chimney. And this caption says, a volcano in Hawaii. Hawaii is an island chain made up of volcanoes. They're all volcanoes. So you can see the lava popping up and the hot lava and molten rock, and then this is lava pouring down. Every so often a volcano will erupt. When this happens, melted rock and other material from the inside Earth blast to the surface. There are different kinds of volcanoes around the world, and they erupt in different ways. Let's find out all about them. This says an explosive eruption, and what you're looking at here, this is ash and poisonous gas and super, super hot bits of melted rock all blowing up into the sky. Erupt. We had a volcano erupting close to our house for about a year and a half, and we had tons of this volcanic ash that got in our house, and it was all over our cars. It looked like snow, and it was really, you couldn't breathe it in. You shouldn't breathe it in, and so we had to stay inside a lot. Erupt. When a volcano blasts out material from inside Earth. Volcano. An opening in the Earth's surface, which material from inside Earth reaches the surface. Inside Earth. To explore a volcano, we first need to take a look inside Earth. Of course, we can't really travel that far beneath the Earth's surface. Like all scientists, we're going to look at a model. Models, like the one below, are used when actual things are too big or too dangerous to look at. So it looks like a cake. This model looks like layers of cake. And this part right here looks like a tree, doesn't it? So we're going to see what this is. So this yellow stuff and the red stuff is lava. And when it's inside the earth, it's called magma. There's the word magma. When it's outside of the earth, it's called lava. And this is the magma chamber. And look, we've got these little vents on the side too where smoke is puffing out. And if you've ever been to Yellowstone National Park, you see a lot of these hot, steamy vents all over because Yellowstone is a giant volcano. I don't know if you knew that. Far, far below the ground you stand on, Earth's interior is very hot. How hot? Hot enough to melt rock. Melted rock is called magma. Once it hits the Earth's surface, the melted rock is called lava. Look at the model and see where the magma and lava are found. Can you see how the melted rock travels through the volcano? Here's your smart words. Lava, melted rock that has reached the Earth's surface. Magma, melted rock beneath the Earth's surface. And so we talked about that with our model right there. Another word for model is diagram. So this is not technically a photograph. Someone has made this, drawn it, or used a computer to make that model. This is a photograph. Mighty mountains. To explore volcanoes on Earth's surface, we can fly overhead. First stop, a cylinder cone. These volcanoes are made from small pieces of rock and dust. From the air, you can see a bowl-shaped pit at the top. It is a crater. Crater, right there. So this is a diagram again of what a cylinder cone volcano would look like. Cylinder cone volcanoes look like cone-shaped hills. Now this word cone, we're going to see that word next week when we start our new unit in math class where we're talking about geometry. We're talking about three-dimensional shapes, and so we're going to use that word cone in our math lessons next week. Smart words. Crater. A bowl-shaped pit at the top of a volcano. Cruising overhead, the next volcano is a stratovolcano. Strato means layers. Stratovolcanoes are made up of, you guessed it, layers. These volcanoes are made up of layers of cinder and lava. They can also be topped with a crater. Now, this is not a vocabulary word, but the word cinder is another word for ashes. Ashes. You know, like Cinderella. And as the story goes, she slept by the fire, and so she got ashes on her face, cinders on her face. Our final stop is at a shield volcano. These volcanoes are wider than they are tall. From the air, they look like a warrior's shield. Here's your smart words. Lava, volcano, and erupt. I'm going to skip this part right here just so I can move on to the rest of the story. This is the end of the first chapter. Talk like a scientist. Use the smart word volcano to describe how a layer cake might be a good model for a stratovolcano. Smart word watch, and they want you to match the different vocabulary words to the parts of the model. Okay. Chapter 2, When Volcanoes Go Wild. Do your friends have different personalities? Some may be quiet, others may be talkative. Volcanoes are similar. Some are quiet, others are explosive. It depends on the material that erupts from them. So the volcano that I could see from my house looked like this. And the one that we vacationed by had lava like this. And then the one that I actually lived on did not usually have smoke. Sometimes it did, but not usually. Sometimes fire-red lava flows quietly over the land. This lava is very thin and runny, like pancake syrup. This type of eruption spreads very far and makes shield volcanoes. The Hawaiian Islands are volcanic. They are formed by a hot spot. A hot spot is an extremely hot area of magma under the Earth's surface. Hot spots never move. The Earth's outer surface does not move. Does move. The Earth's outer surface does move. As it moves over hot spots, new volcanoes form. So what you're seeing here is a diagram or a model of the hot spot. So this hot spot right here stays the same, and it's constantly pouring out magma. And as the top of the Earth moves this way, the crust of the Earth moves this way, the volcano moves off of the hot spot, and a new volcano starts pushing up right here. So this is the oldest volcano that's younger, and youngest, because it's moving away from the hot spot, which is underwater. Smart words: hotspot, an extremely hot area of magma beneath the Earth's surface. The explosive type. Explosive volcanoes erupt with a boom. Huge clouds of ash and gas fly high in the sky. This type of an eruption can be far more dangerous than a lava flow. High winds and hot gases can destroy everything around the volcano. An eruption can even stop airplanes from flying for miles around the area. And actually, this is what happened to the volcano that I could see by my house. All of a sudden, people used to, and I've done this many times, go up to the top of the volcano and look at the crater, and you could see the smoke that would just very gently coming out of the crater. Well, one day it actually exploded, and there were people up there when that happened. It was very terrible. And then for about a year and a half, we had this type of ash and hot gases flying over our city, and it even stopped the airport traffic for quite a while. Mount St. Helens stratovolcano erupting. Smart words: ash and gas. Ash are dust-sized rocks that blast from a volcano. Gas, substance that will fill any space that it contains. Mount St. Helens is in the United States. Mount St. Helens is in Washington State. After its last eruption, the blast destroyed everything in range. But ash made the soil better. No longer crowded out by big trees, new plants could grow. Animals returned to the area. Over time, life bounced back. So one other thing about volcanic ash is that it's very rich in nutrients. And in Costa Rica, the volcanic soil, the dirt, is what makes really good coffee. One of the things that makes really good coffee grow.